Here's the deal. When the shelves went bare last time, it started with toilet paper. People lost their minds over it, and within days, stores looked like a war zone. But let me tell you something. When the next collapse hits, toilet paper won't even be close to the first thing to vanish. Not even in the top 10. There are everyday items sitting in your house right now, boring, unassuming, and probably collecting dust, that will disappear before most people even realize what's happening. Why? Because the folks who've been through this before, the ones who know how fast things spiral, they're not wasting time. They're grabbing these essentials in bulk, quietly and efficiently, while everyone else is still scrolling through the news. By the time the average person catches on, it'll be too late. So today we're breaking down 9 overlooked essentials that'll vanish faster than toilet paper when the next economic collapse hits. These aren't flashy or obvious, but they're the first to go when things get ugly. And just so we're clear, this isn't about fear-mongering. We're not here to sell you gear or push panic. We're here to share knowledge. If you've got items you think people overlook in emergencies, drop them in the comments. Let's help each other stay ahead of the chaos. All right, let's get into it. 1. Shelf-stable milk alternatives, the silent survival essential. When chaos hits and store shelves start to empty, milk is one of the first things to vanish. Not because it's rare, but because it spoils faster than most people can use it. That's where shelf-stable milk alternatives come in. Powdered milk, evaporated milk, and UHT, ultra-high temperature cartons. These aren't just convenient, they're survival gold. Here's the thing. Most people don't think about milk when they're prepping. They're busy hoarding canned goods, rice, and water. But when the reality of daily life sets in, kids needing milk for breakfast, adults wanting it for coffee, cereal, or cooking, the absence of milk hits like a freight train. During the 2020 panic buying frenzy, dairy sections were wiped out almost immediately. But the real panic wasn't over fresh milk, it was over the shelf-stable options. Powdered milk and UHT cartons disappeared overnight because they don't need refrigeration and can last for months, even years. Think about it. In a blackout, when your fridge is nothing more than a box of spoiled food, those shelf-stable cartons become priceless. Aid workers in disaster zones know this all too well. After Hurricane Maria, powdered milk and UHT cartons were among the most requested items, even more than canned meat. Why? Because they're versatile. You can mix powdered milk with clean water for kids, the elderly, or anyone needing a nutritional boost. You can use it in soups, baking, or even as a barter item. And here's the kicker. It's still cheap and widely available. For now. Most people walk right past it in stores, thinking it's only for campers or hardcore preppers. But when the next wave of panic buying hits, it'll be gone before you can even grab a shopping cart. If you're not stocking up on shelf-stable milk alternatives now, you're setting yourself up to be part of the crowd scrambling for scraps later. 2. Non-adhesive shelf liners, the gear-saving MVP. Walk into any big box store and head to the kitchen aisle. You'll see rolls of non-adhesive shelf liners sitting there, unassuming and ignored. Most people buy them to make their drawers look neat or keep dishes from sliding around. But in a real collapse, these cheap, grippy liners become lifesavers. Literally. Here's the blunt truth. When the grid goes down, your environment becomes a hazard zone. No power means no light, and no light means you're stumbling around in the dark. Add in unstable furniture, makeshift setups, and stacked supplies, and you've got a recipe for disaster. That's where shelf liners come in. They're flexible, easy to cut, and don't require glue or tools. Just unroll, cut to size, and lay them down wherever you need stability. On shelves, under crates, inside bins, or even beneath your bug-out bag by the door. Picture this. Your canned goods shelf takes a hit from a tremor or a heavy bump. Without shelf liners, you're looking at shattered jars, spilled food, and a mess you can't afford to clean up. With liners, everything stays locked in place. During the 2017 Mexico earthquake, first responders used shelf liners to stabilize equipment, pad crates, and secure makeshift kitchens. They even used them under burners and utensils to prevent accidents in chaotic conditions. But the uses don't stop there. Line the base of your water jug crate to keep it from shifting in your vehicle. Wrap it around tool handles for extra grip. Use it as padding under metal or glass items if you need to move quietly. In no-power situations, you can even line the base of a DIY sink or toilet bucket to prevent slipping and spills. The best part? These liners are washable, lightweight, and dirt cheap. But don't let their low price fool you. They're worth their weight in gold when everything around you is unstable. And just like everything else on this list, they'll be gone in a flash when people realize their value. Don't wait until it's too late. 3. Propane tank refill adapters, the tiny tool that keeps you cooking. When panic buying kicks in, fuel is one of the first things to disappear. The big 20-pound propane tanks for grills? Gone. The small 1-pound bottles for camp stoves? Vanished. But here's the thing. The people who keep cooking, heating, and surviving long after the shelves are empty are the ones who grabbed a propane refill adapter. This tiny brass fitting, often overlooked in the camping section, is a game changer. It lets you refill those small 1-pound propane bottles from a standard 20-pound tank. And in a collapse, that means you're multiplying your fuel supply without relying on stores, shipments, or ration lines. Here's how it works. Screw the adapter onto your large propane tank, flip it upside down, and connect the small bottle. Gravity and pressure do the rest. In minutes, you've got a refilled bottle ready to power your portable stove, heater, or lantern. During the Texas freeze of 2021, when power grids failed and temperatures plummeted, people with refill adapters kept cooking and heating without breaking a sweat. Meanwhile, others were burning furniture or waiting in endless gas station lines. The beauty of this tool is its simplicity. It doesn't need batteries, electronics, or maintenance. One $10 adapter can refill dozens of bottles over time, making it an investment that pays for itself many times over. And let's not forget its trade value. In a full-blown collapse, when fuel supplies are gone, that little brass fitting becomes a high-demand barter item. People will trade food, medicine, or gear just for the ability to refill a propane bottle and boil water. But here's the catch. These adapters don't stay on shelves for long. In every major blackout, storm, or fuel shortage, they're among the first items to disappear. The people who know their value act early, leaving everyone else scrambling. If you don't already have one of these in your kit, you're playing with fire, literally. Get one now, while they're still cheap and available. Because when the next crisis hits, they'll be worth their weight in gold. 4. Essential grooming tools. Small items, big survival impact. When the world goes sideways, personal hygiene might seem like a luxury you can skip. But here's the harsh truth. Neglecting basic grooming can turn small problems into life-threatening ones. Overgrown nails, splinters, or even a simple hangnail can lead to infections that spiral out of control when medical care is out of reach. That's why basic grooming tools, nail clippers, tweezers, and small scissors are more than just hygiene items. They're survival tools. In disaster zones and long-term shelters, staying clean isn't about vanity. It's about survival. Dirty, untrimmed nails can tear, causing painful injuries that bleed and get infected. Splinters left untreated can fester, swelling up and spreading bacteria. Without tweezers, you're stuck trying to dig out debris with your fingers, which only makes things worse. And let's not forget the importance of scissors. They're not just for trimming hair. They can cut bandages, snip duct tape, or even manage tangled hair that becomes a hygiene nightmare in kids or the elderly. During the Haiti earthquake, medical teams reported a surge in infections caused by poor grooming. The Red Cross eventually started including nail clippers and tweezers in their emergency hygiene kits because the need was so critical. These tools are lightweight, durable, and silent, perfect for any survival kit, and they're cheap. A dollar store grooming set can last for years and might just save you from a serious health issue. But here's the kicker. In a collapse, these items become high-value barter goods. A sealed grooming kit can be traded for food, water, or other essentials because clean tools mean health. And health is priceless when doctors are nowhere to be found. Most people won't think to grab these until it's too late. But you'll have them packed and ready because in a world falling apart, the smallest tools can make the biggest difference. 5. Immune boosters, your body's first line of defense. When the next collapse hits, the biggest threat won't always be what's outside your door. It'll be what's happening inside your body. Stress, poor nutrition, lack of sleep, and exposure to unsanitary conditions will hammer your immune system, leaving you vulnerable to illness. That's why immune supplements like vitamin C, vitamin D3, zinc, and elderberry are a survival must-have. They're not flashy, but they're the silent armor your body needs when everything else is falling apart. Here's the reality. In a crisis, your immune system is under constant attack. You're eating shelf-stable food with little nutritional value, drinking from backup water sources, and sleeping less than ever. Kids, the elderly, and anyone with pre-existing conditions are hit even harder. During the 2020 pandemic, immune boosters flew off the shelves within hours of the first emergency announcements. People weren't just hoarding toilet paper, they were trying to protect their bodies from what was coming. Vitamin C helps reduce inflammation and speeds up recovery. D3 supports your immune system and keeps your mood stable, which is critical during long, dark blackout conditions. Zinc shortens the duration of illnesses, and elderberry has been used for centuries to fight respiratory infections. Together, these supplements form a powerful defense against the illnesses that spread like wildfire in group shelters or crowded survival situations. The best part? Immune supplements are cheap, compact, and have a long shelf life. You can store months' worth of protection in a small bag, and they don't require refrigeration. In a barter situation, a bottle of immune boosters becomes a high-demand item. When sickness starts spreading, people will trade almost anything for a way to protect themselves and their families. If you're not stocking up on immune supplements now, you're leaving your health and your survival up to chance. Don't wait until the shelves are empty. Grab them while you can, because when the real battle starts, your body needs every advantage it can get. 6. Charcoal starter cubes. Fire without the fuss. When the power goes out and the temperature drops, fire isn't just a convenience, it's survival. You need it to cook, to stay warm, and sometimes just to keep the darkness at bay. But here's the problem. Starting a fire isn't always easy, especially when the wood is damp, the wind is howling, or your lighter is running on fumes. That's where charcoal starter cubes come in. These small, overlooked blocks of fire-starting magic are the unsung heroes of any survival kit. Starter cubes are simple but effective. One spark, whether from a lighter, a match, or even a flint striker, and they burn hot and steady for up to 10 minutes. That's more than enough time to ignite damp wood, charcoal, or even a makeshift stove. Unlike lighter fluid, they don't leak, evaporate, or create dangerous fumes. They're safe to use indoors with proper ventilation, making them perfect for lighting heaters or cooking setups during a blackout. Think back to the Texas freeze of 2021. Families without power were burning furniture to stay warm, while those with starter cubes were lighting their grills and eating hot meals. These cubes are compact, lightweight, and have a shelf life of years. You'll find them in the BBQ aisle, often ignored in favor of lighter fluid and matchbooks. But when the next crisis hits, they'll be gone in a flash. And let's not forget their barter value. In a collapse, fire is life. A single starter cube can mean a warm night, a cooked meal, or even a way to boil water for drinking. People will trade food, tools, or other essentials for something as simple as a reliable way to start a fire. If you're serious about survival, don't overlook these little blocks of certainty. Stock up now, because when the cold sets in and the lights go out, you'll be glad you did. In a world where fire is the difference between life and death, starter cubes are worth their weight in gold. 7. Personal water filter straws, instant hydration anywhere. When the taps run dry, water becomes your #1 priority. Forget about food or fuel. Without clean water, you're on a 3-day countdown to disaster. Most people think they'll just boil water if things get bad. But what happens when you're not home? What if there's no gas, no firewood, or no time? That's where personal water filter straws come in. These compact, lightweight tools are your lifeline when clean water is nowhere to be found. A water filter straw is simple but powerful. It fits in your pocket, weighs next to nothing, and can turn filthy, contaminated water into drinkable hydration in seconds. River water, pond scum, even a puddle in the gutter. It doesn't matter. You uncap it, sip, and survive. Originally designed for humanitarian crises, these straws have been used in flood zones, war-torn areas, and disaster relief efforts worldwide. After the 2010 Haiti earthquake, waterborne diseases spread like wildfire. Butte relief workers armed with filter straws were able to curb infections almost overnight. Here's why they're essential. Clean water is the first thing to disappear in any emergency. Boiling isn't always an option, and carrying gallons of water isn't practical. A single straw can filter hundreds of gallons, doesn't need batteries, and works silently. Whether you're bugging out, stuck at home with broken pipes, or navigating a boil advisory, this tool gives you instant portable hydration without the hassle. And let's not forget its value in a barter situation. When others are scrambling for bottled water or trying to purify contaminated sources, you'll have a tool that can save lives. These straws are cheap and easy to find in the camping section of most stores. But when panic buying starts, they'll vanish faster than you can say boil advisory. If you don't already have one, now's the time to grab it. Because when the water stops flowing, this straw becomes everything. 8. Reusable Gel Ice Packs, cooling when it counts. When the power goes out and the heat starts climbing, cooling isn't just a luxury, it's survival. Injuries swell, medications spoil, and people overheat faster than you'd think. That's where reusable gel ice packs come in. These aren't just for sore muscles or sprained ankles. In a crisis, they become a critical tool for keeping things stable when everything else is falling apart. Here's how they work. While the grid is still up, you freeze them. Once the power's gone, they buy you hours of cooling time. Whether you're trying to preserve insulin, keep baby food from spoiling, or prevent heat exhaustion in a sweltering room, these packs are lifesavers. They're clean, quiet, and don't leak like frozen water bottles or bags of ice. During the Texas grid collapse in 2021, families used gel packs to rotate through coolers, stabilize perishable food, and cool down overheated kids and seniors, all without needing electricity or fuel. The beauty of gel packs is their reusability. Freeze them, use them, and freeze them again. They're lightweight, compact, and easy to store, making them perfect for any emergency kit. And in a barter situation, they're worth their weight in gold. Imagine being in a crowded shelter or group setting where the heat is unbearable. A single gel pack can be traded for food, medicine, or other essentials because cooling isn't just comfort, it's survival. Most people overlook these packs when prepping. They grab water, canned food, and flashlights, but they forget about the importance of temperature control. Don't make that mistake! Stock up on reusable gel ice packs now because when the power's out and the heat is on, the ability to cool things down could make all the difference. 9. Rubber gloves, your hand's first line of defense. In a collapse scenario, your hands are your most valuable tool. They're how you cook, clean, build, and survive. But without protection, they're also your biggest vulnerability. Trash piles up, water becomes scarce, and infections spread like wildfire. That's when rubber gloves, those cheap, disposable items you barely think about, become essential survival gear. Here's the reality. In a crisis, every surface is a potential hazard. Whether you're handling spoiled food, cleaning up waste, or treating a wound, your bare hands shouldn't be exposed. One small cut, one touch of contaminated water, and you're looking at an infection that could take you out of the game. During the COVID-19 pandemic, gloves were among the first items to vanish from shelves, not just in hospitals, but in homes. FEMA consistently lists gloves as a must-have in emergency kits, and for good reason. Heavy-duty gloves are perfect for handling debris, scrubbing surfaces, or working with harsh chemicals like bleach, which becomes your best friend in disinfection. Disposable gloves, on the other hand, are ideal for food prep, wound care, or interacting with sick family members. They're lightweight, easy to store, and dirt cheap, until they're not. When panic buying starts, gloves disappear faster than soap, leaving those who didn't prepare scrambling for alternatives. But gloves aren't just about hygiene, they're about survival. In a barter situation, a pack of gloves can be traded for food, water, or other essentials, because clean hands mean health. And health is everything when medical care is out of reach. Don't wait until it's too late. Stock up on rubber gloves now, because in a world where every touch is a risk, they're the armor your hands can't afford to go without. 10. Duct tape, the ultimate survival fix-all. When everything falls apart, duct tape becomes the unsung hero of survival. It's not flashy, it's not high-tech, but it's one of the most versatile tools you can have in a crisis. Need to patch a hole in your shelter? Duct tape. Need to repair a torn tarp, seal a leaky water container, or even make a makeshift bandage? Duct tape. It's the Swiss Army knife of adhesives. And in a collapse, it's worth its weight in gold. Here's why duct tape is a must-have. It's strong, waterproof, and sticks to just about anything. You can use it to secure broken windows, reinforce weak structures, or even create a temporary splint for an injured limb. During Hurricane Katrina, rescue teams used duct tape to patch up boats, secure gear, and even create emergency stretchers. It's lightweight, compact, and easy to carry, making it perfect for bug-out bags or emergency kits. But duct tape isn't just about repairs, it's about survival ingenuity. You can use it to create a watertight seal on containers, fashion a DIY rope, or even make a fire starter by wrapping it around a stick. In a barter situation, a roll of duct tape becomes a high-value item because its uses are endless. People will trade food, water, or other essentials for something as simple as a way to fix what's broken. Most people don't think about duct tape until they need it, and by then, it's too late. When the shelves are empty and the chaos has started, you'll be glad you stocked up. Because in a world where everything is falling apart, duct tape is the one thing that can hold it all together. 11. Manual can openers, the overlooked essential. Imagine this. You've stocked up on canned food, your pantry is full, and you're ready to ride out the storm. But when the power's out and your electric can opener is useless, how are you going to get to that food? That's where a manual can opener comes in. It's a simple tool, but in a crisis, it's the key to accessing your survival stash. Here's the thing. Most people don't think about manual can openers until they're staring at a can of soup with no way to open it. During the 2020 pandemic, stores ran out of canned goods. But they also ran out of manual can openers because people realized too late that they needed one. A good manual can opener is durable, lightweight, and easy to use. It doesn't require batteries or electricity, and it can last for years if properly cared for. But a can opener isn't just about food, it's about survival. In a long-term crisis, canned goods are one of the most reliable food sources. They don't spoil, they're easy to store, and they're packed with calories. Without a way to open them, though, they're useless. A manual can opener ensures that you can access your food supply no matter what. And let's not forget its value in a barter situation. When others are struggling to open their cans with knives or rocks, you'll have a tool that makes life easier. A spare can opener can be traded for food, water, or other essentials because it's one of those items people don't realize they need until it's too late. Don't be caught unprepared. Grab a manual can opener now and make sure you're ready for whatever comes next. 12. Solar-powered chargers. Power when you need it most. When the grid goes down, staying connected becomes a challenge. Your phone, flashlight, or emergency radio is only as good as its battery. And without power, those devices become useless. That's why a solar-powered charger is a game-changer in any survival situation. It's lightweight, portable, and gives you the ability to generate power anywhere the sun shines. Here's why solar chargers are essential. They don't rely on fuel, batteries, or the grid. All you need is sunlight, and you've got a renewable source of energy. Whether you're charging your phone to stay in touch, powering a flashlight to navigate the dark, or keeping an emergency radio running for updates, a solar charger ensures you're never completely cut off. During the Puerto Rico blackout after Hurricane Maria, solar chargers became a lifeline for families who needed to communicate, access information, or simply light their homes. But solar chargers aren't just about convenience, they're about survival. In a long-term crisis, access to power can mean the difference between life and death. A charged phone lets you call for help. A powered flashlight helps you avoid injuries in the dark. And a working radio keeps you informed about what's happening around you. And because solar chargers are compact and easy to carry, they're perfect for bug-out bags or emergency kits. In a barter situation, a solar charger becomes a high-value item. When others are scrambling for batteries or fuel, you'll have a tool that provides unlimited power as long as the sun is shining. People will trade food, water, or other essentials for the ability to charge their devices. Don't wait until the next blackout to realize how valuable a solar charger is. Get one now and ensure you're never left in the dark. 13. Compression bandages. Stop the bleed, save a life. When chaos strikes, injuries are inevitable. Whether it's a deep cut, a sprain, or a more serious wound, having the right tools to stop bleeding and stabilize injuries can mean the difference between life and death. That's where compression bandages come in. These aren't your average first aid kit wraps. They're designed for serious emergencies, and in a collapse, they're absolutely essential. Compression bandages are lightweight, compact, and incredibly effective. They're designed to apply consistent pressure to wounds, helping to control bleeding and reduce swelling. In a world where medical help might be hours or even days away, these bandages can buy you the time you need to survive. They're also versatile. You can use them to wrap sprains, secure splints, or even as a makeshift tourniquet in extreme situations. During the Syrian refugee crisis, aid workers reported that compression bandages were one of the most requested items in medical kits. Why? Because they're easy to use, even for someone with no medical training, and they work fast. In a survival situation where every second counts, that's invaluable. But here's the thing. Most people don't think to stock up on compression bandages. They grab basic first aid kits with tiny adhesive strips and call it a day. Don't make that mistake. A good compression bandage can save a life, and in a barter situation, it's worth its weight in gold. When others are scrambling to stop a serious bleed with duct tape and paper towels, you'll have the tool that gets the job done. Stock up now, because when the injuries start piling up, these bandages will disappear fast. 14. MultiTool, the one tool to rule them all. In a survival scenario, space and weight are at a premium. You can't carry a full toolbox, but you still need the ability to cut, pry, tighten, and fix. That's where a multi-tool comes in. Compact, versatile, and built to last, a good multi-tool is like having a dozen tools in your pocket. And in a collapse, it's an absolute game changer. A quality multi-tool typically includes pliers, a knife, screwdrivers, scissors, a saw, and more, all in one compact package. Whether you're repairing gear, opening cans, cutting rope, or even defending yourself, a multi-tool has you covered. During Hurricane Sandy, survivors reported that multi-tools were among the most useful items they had, allowing them to make quick repairs, open food supplies, and handle countless small tasks that popped up during the chaos. But a multi-tool isn't just about convenience, it's about survival. In a world where resources are limited and every tool counts, having a single item that can handle multiple tasks is invaluable. And because multi-tools are built to last, they're a one-time investment that pays off in every emergency. In a barter situation, a multi-tool becomes a high-demand item. When others are struggling to fix things with their bare hands, you'll have the tool that makes life easier. People will trade food, water, or other essentials for something as simple as a screwdriver or a sharp blade. Don't wait until the shelves are empty to grab one. A good MultiTool is an essential piece of survival gear that you'll use long after the crisis is over. 15. Emergency candles. Light when the darkness takes over. When the power goes out, darkness takes over fast. Flashlights and batteries are great, but they don't last forever. That's why emergency candles are a must-have in any survival kit. They're simple, reliable, and provide hours of light when you need it most. In a collapse, when the grid is down and the nights are long, these candles become more than just a source of light. They become a source of comfort and security. Emergency candles are designed to burn longer and cleaner than regular candles, making them ideal for survival situations. A single candle can provide light for up to 100 hours depending on the type. They're also compact and easy to store, so you can keep a stash in your home, car, or bug-out bag. During the Northeast blackout of 2003, families who had emergency candles were able to navigate their homes, cook meals, and even stay warm without relying on flashlights or batteries. But candles aren't just about light, they're about survival. In cold weather, a few candles can raise the temperature in a small room, providing much-needed warmth. They can also be used to heat food or water in a pinch. And because they don't rely on electricity or fuel, they're a reliable backup when everything else fails. In a barter situation, emergency candles are a high-value item. When others are sitting in the dark, you'll have a source of light and warmth that can be traded for food, water, or other essentials. Don't overlook these simple tools. Stock up now because when the lights go out, emergency candles will be one of the first things to